Have you ever wondered why some people with Canadian parents were still not considered Canadians? Why thousands of families were stuck, children were left out, and generations lost their right to citizenship? Well, that ends now. Canada has officially introduced one of the biggest changes to citizenship laws in years, and Bill C-3 is about to reshape the future for Canadians living abroad and for many people who've been fighting for recognition. If you or someone you know has parents or grandparents connected to Canada, this update might finally open the door to citizenship. Stay with me, because today I'll break down what this new law means and how it could affect you. Welcome back to Canada Visa. If you're new here, this channel brings you the latest, most accurate updates on Canadian immigration. And today's topic is massive. Bill C-3 has officially introduced major changes to Canada's citizenship rules, and for many families, this is the moment they've been waiting for. So let's start with what the problem was and why this change matters so much. For years, Canada had something called the first-generation limit. That meant if a Canadian was born outside Canada, they could pass citizenship to their children. Their grandchildren born abroad were automatically left out, even if the family lived their whole life identifying as Canadian. This created a group known as the Lost Canadians, people who had Canadian heritage but were not recognized by law. Many of them spent years struggling, appealing, or waiting. Bill C-3 finally addresses this injustice. Under the new law, thousands of people who were previously denied citizenship because of outdated rules will now gain citizenship automatically. This applies to people born abroad in situations where, under earlier laws, they should have been Canadian but weren't. This is a huge step toward correcting years of unfair exclusions. For many families, this is emotional, not just a legal victory. Now let's talk about future children, because this is just as important. Bill C-3 introduces a new requirement called substantial connection. If a Canadian citizen is born outside Canada and later has a child abroad, they can still pass on citizenship, but only if they've spent a minimum of 3 years physically in Canada at some point in their life. This rule applies whether the child is biological or adopted. The idea is simple: to ensure parents passing down citizenship actually have real ties to Canada. This gives families more fairness and flexibility compared to the old system, which cut everything off at just one generation. What about adopted children? Under the new law, internationally adopted children will also be included, as long as their Canadian parent meets the substantial connection requirement. This change fixes years of unequal treatment between children born in Canada and those adopted from abroad. For many adoptive families, this will come as a huge relief. Now there are some new responsibilities as well. Adults between ages 18 and 55 who gain citizenship by descent will now need to meet language requirements, just like regular citizenship applicants. They must prove basic English or French ability and also pass a knowledge test about Canada's values, rights, and responsibilities. These changes make citizenship by descent more aligned with regular citizenship processes, ensuring that new Canadians understand the country they're becoming part of. Some people have raised concerns. Critics argue that the 3-year physical presence requirement may still exclude families who live abroad for work, diplomats, military families, international employees, and global professionals. Others worry that the requirement for adopted children still treats them differently. But overall, the majority see Bill C-3 as a major step forward, especially for those who've been fighting for years just to be recognized. Politically, the bill passed through the House of Commons and is moving through the final stages. Once it receives royal assent, the government will set an official date for it to come into force. After that, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada will release instructions, application forms, and processes for people who qualify under the new rules. That means, if you think you're eligible, this is the time to start gathering documents like proof of your parents' Canadian citizenship, proof of physical presence in Canada, and your own birth records. This reform is more than a policy update. It's about identity, belonging, and fairness. For families who have felt excluded, this new law is a moment of recognition. And for Canadians living around the world, it restores their ability to pass on their heritage and national identity to their children. If you or someone in your family was affected by the first-generation limit, this might be the biggest opportunity you've seen in years. Make sure to follow updates from IRCC closely, because the government will soon publish detailed guidelines and timelines for when applications open under Bill C-3. Thank you for watching Canada Visa. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an immigration update. And let me know in the comments if you want me to make a full step-by-step guide on how to apply for citizenship under this new law. I'll see you in the next video.